So we're here today at the Generative AI Summit in Washington, DC. Pleased to be sat next to Nick from Fiddler, one of our event partners. Nick, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Nick Nolan. I am a solution engineering manager at Fiddler AI. Been working at Fiddler for about a year now. Before that, I've worked with a number of different startups across GRC and privacy industry, as well as a whole host of other roles in my career.
Nice. And yeah, I actually want to delve into that a little bit, Nick, because you've got a really interesting background. So just in not so many words, explain how you got here today.
Yeah, so I've always been very technical in nature. I've worked for small startup organizations, usually in product development. So for a long time, I was managing engineers, working with, being product owner, project manager, really kind of understanding the product side of things, and got very technical through being able to do that. Well, as my career kind of progressed, I decided it was time to try my hand more in a customer facing kind of sales type of role. And that's where I kind of fell into solution engineering, where I can work my technical chops as well as kind of that being more people person, right? So the last, I worked about 5 years in an organization called OneTrust, where it was privacy and GRC software. And I ended up leading a large team of SEs. We supported all around the globe, close to 85 sales representatives from our team. So it was a huge organization. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. But I saw what was happening in the AI world, and I decided I really wanted to get involved in AI. This is really kind of the emerging thing that's happening. So I decided to kind of make a move into Fiddler AI. That's kind of that startup atmosphere.
Nice. The OneTrust is based in London, right?
So they have an office in London. Their headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I live.
Okay, nice. But yeah, it makes total sense to transition into the AI space now. Like you say, it is the emerging technology. And you've been at Fiddler for a year. So give us a nice high level overview of exactly what Fiddler AI does.
Yeah, so Fiddler AI is a observability platform for any kind of AI model that you're using. So we actually started as an organization about 6 years ago. And at that time, the focus was on more traditional and ML models, because that's really what organizations were using more so at the time. Over the last couple of years, we really shifted into more generative AI and LLM type model observability, because that's where the market's going. And what we find is organizations come to us because they are spending all this time, resources, and money on developing AI use cases, models, applications. Then they go and they put it into production, and it kind of enters this black box, right? They don't really know what's happening with it once it's in production. And so what Fiddler does is allows you to monitor and have a really keen eye on what's happening in that model in a production atmosphere. So you can be alerted if it starts to underperform or if it's doing something you're not expecting. And then you can make any kind of resolution on the back end.
Nice, yeah, super interesting. I've certainly had a look at Fiddler AI myself. We worked with you on a few events now. Is there any particular use case or any particular industry vertical that your platform and solution really lends itself to?
Well, we are agnostic of industries and in platform and everything. However, where we find most of our customers are most engaged with us are going to be, we see a lot in financial institution and healthcare. And the reason for that is more so because these organizations have been using AI for a while, and they're also very aware of regulatory requirements from a security standpoint. And so they are more so, I think, prepared to put in place the mechanisms for monitoring their AI out. A lot of organizations we speak with, we work with other verticals as well. So retail's another big one. But a lot of these other verticals, they're kind of still building out their AI programs, right? So they're still coming to us, but their objectives or goals are just slightly different.
Yeah, it makes total sense aiming for that the big four industry verticals that we've been targeted as a community to serve our vendors is retail, manufacturing will be in there, obviously financial services, healthcare. but you're industry agnostic, right? So is there any current use cases, or do you have any plans to move into, a bit more like fringe verticals, let's just say like ag tech or like geospatial, autonomous transportation, or any industry verticals we're excited about lending your solution to?
Yeah, so we are open to speak with any organization or any vertical, but same as you, we target where we're going to get our biggest return on investment, right? But we do kind of serve and support any industry for any customer that come to us. In particular, we actually have a customer with the Department of Defense here in the United States as well, and they have a very interesting use case where they want to monitor their computer vision models.
Right.
So even this is more niche because it's not talking about traditional ML or generative AI. It's very visual in the way these models operate. But we work with them in computer vision monitoring aspect, and so we have that capability as well for some of these niche use cases that organizations that are outside those kind of big four.
And yeah, Nick, is there anything that excites you? I'm sure there is, right? Is there anything that excites you about what Fiddler AI is building, or what you've got in the pipeline, for the next 12 to 24 months? Because there's a lot of development taking place right now. So if you don't keep up with that, you're kind of, you're kind of left behind.
Oh yeah, in this industry in AI, it changes so quickly. I mean, I'll tell you the difference between when I started here a year ago and what we're focusing on now is completely different, right? Like traditional ML, that's kind of like table stakes for monitoring. An LLM is really kind of emerging as a primary focus for monitoring. But really, what's kind of I'm seeing on the market as the big change, the shift, is in agentic workflows and agentic monitoring. So these super complex agentic models and agents that are speaking to each other, different paths depending on what the goal is and the setup for the organization. And if you think monitoring one model is hard, well, monitoring a flow that's that complex is incredibly challenging for organizations. So we have a big product release that's coming up very soon that's going to have agentic monitoring experience here, and it will monitor traces in Spain, and so you see exactly what's happening with your app, all the agents that your tools are using. And then on top of that, we get a lot of questions from our customers for being able to fine tune their trust scores and all these scores on their models that are specific for that. So we have other releases coming out very soon that are going to allow for that fine tuning much more easily for our customers, so they can really make their scores their own. And this is what's going to really kind of revolutionize the capabilities on the market, is that flexibility into what's emerging, so that we can keep up, the customers to keep up what the market's doing.
Yeah, both sides of the coin have got to keep up, right? Not just the providers, but also the customers. Yeah, it sounds like some really, really exciting developments. We're also doing an agentic AI summit in New York, which we're really excited about. You might actually have the same answer to this question, Nick, but on a personal level, is there anything that's really exciting for you about the development in the space? Because you've got such a diverse background for products, be a technical person, leading teams of engineers, so on and so forth. But yeah, on a personal note, is there anything that's really exciting to you?
That's a good question. I mean, I think probably how it's so ubiquitous now in what we do day to day is pretty cool. I mean, what was it just 2 years ago? ChatGPT and it started becoming available for the public, right? And it's kind of revolutionized the way that everyone operates. Like for example, like I had to write a quick script to do some file flattening for this Python call recently. Well, I just entered into ChatGPT and I got the answer in 10 minutes, right? I mean, these things are really kind of changing the way that you can work and be efficient. And, that is pretty exciting for my own personal use. Then you also have a lot of other fun things like, having image generation or movie generation that looks very well done, and it's a matter of putting in prompts and it spits out something that's really, really fantastic. And it's super impressive that is just a brand new capability that we can.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Like I myself now fancy myself as a bit of an artist, but it's not really at all, right?
Exactly.
And then diving into your talk today, Nick. I mean, everyone here got to witness it, and it was a great talk. And you also sat in the panel. But just for those reading or listening to this, Could you give us 3 key takeaways from the keynote that you delivered?
Yeah. So the way that I kind of look at what's happening in the AI landscape or what customers are looking for is they want to be able to trust their use of their LLM as a generative AI. Uh, there is this interesting stat that I talked about in the presentation a bit, where organizations, about 70% of all projects involving AI don't pass the pilot stage. Meaning organizations are spending lots of time and money on trying to develop these AI applications, but then what ends up happening is maybe their model isn't ready. The use case isn't really quite there for the risk and reward, right? And so what Fiddler is offering to our customers is having more trust in what the models are doing, especially in a production landscape, so that when you put a model into production, you have more confidence. And you can go to your senior leadership and you can say, if they ask you how much is this costing, what's the value it's bringing? What are the risks? Are there security risks? You can answer all those questions with an observability platform. And so that's really what Fiddler is all about, and what I talked through a lot in my presentation here today. Really focusing on generative AI, focusing on guardrailing as well, and then that monitoring.
A few people have mentioned to us that they wanted to follow up with you guys. And then outside of your talk, how have you found the event today?
Oh, I think it's been a great event. Yeah, it's I know we were talking right before this interview, but I do like this kind of size of event as well. The super large events get very daunting in size, and over multiple days, it's exhausting. I think that we had a really good targeted audience here that had some good value out of what they were seeing. They had good discussion, and then being an event, I think this is like 250 folks or so were able to really connect with everyone. So that's it. That was something that I really appreciated with this kind of sizing event. So overall, I think it's been great.
Nice, yeah.
And also like staying on the East Coast and makes flight time a little bit easier.
Yeah, good. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, just like being candid, we don't do trade shows. We've stayed clear for a bit. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of value in showing your face at a trade show, but yeah, you hit the nail on the head. What we do is more intimate niche events with a really targeted audience. But Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can stick around and catch you a bit later.
Absolutely. I'll be here.
All right, Nick. Nice one. Pleasure.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Cheers.